Live. I'm Jen Sanasi, here with my co-host, CoinDesk Indices Head of Product, Andy Baer. We are broadcasting from the Museum of the Future in Dubai, where OKX has announced that it is now available to retail and institutional investors in the United Arab Emirates. Joining us now is OKX Chief Legal Officer, Mauricio Beugelmans. Hello.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure.
Of course, thank you for being here. Now, let's start very broad, and then we can narrow in on a few different topics. But talk to me about the trends you're seeing emerging in the crypto industry from a regulatory perspective. We're obviously seeing more approvals coming through, more jurisdictions looking at crypto in a more positive light. Talk to me from your position about the trends you're seeing.
Yeah, I think the trend that we're seeing, certainly from a regulatory perspective, is some more openness to what centralized crypto can provide, not only for investors, but also generally as an asset class. And we at OKX have always remained optimistic and hopeful. Part of the reason, frankly, is because some jurisdictions, such as Dubai here in the UAE, very early on demonstrated their vision to building a regulatory framework that combines the necessary elements of transparency, of consumer protection, while protecting innovation. And we are actually seeing other regulators in other jurisdictions have a much more open mind, especially now that the material volatility that we all experience is mostly in the rearview mirror.
Oh, sorry. And so, you started this process years ago when you started to map it out and invested a lot of time along with the regulators to get to tonight. Talk a little bit about those two objectives of investor protection, so future retail customers, and then helping to build the industry here, helping to invite professionals and trading firms and the industry to sort of grow here. Those seem distinct, but kind of mutually objectives of yours.
Sure. So going back a little bit of a history lesson, back in early 2022 at OKX for a centralized exchange offering, we made a commitment. Our founder and our CEO, Star Zhu, really gave us a mandate to identify a jurisdiction where we could build a regulated centralized exchange offering. And in that time frame, in the first quarter of 2022, it was a pretty barren landscape.
I was going to say, where did you identify
yes,
at that time?
And so we were struggling, frankly. Most jurisdictions and the regulators in those jurisdictions, while not hostile, they were just not at the point where a framework was on the horizon. Luckily for us, in March of 2022, Dubai published what they call their Law Number 4 of 2022, which set the initial framework and the VARA objectives. And that, frankly, for my personal career, because our founder was waiting for me to give him an answer, was really a lifesaver for us. And what was also interesting is we quickly committed to the region and filed our initial license paperwork in June of 2022. And then started the process of collaboration with VARA, which led to our license that we obtained in September.
It sounds like it's getting a lot easier to work in your profession now. I can't imagine it was easy to hold that position in 2022 or 2021, even when the regulators were all just like a no-go.
From a legal and compliance perspective, what we recognize is we had to commit to the space, right? As we all know the saying from TradeFi, compliance is expensive, but try non-compliance, right? And so again, what we felt was unique about our company is we had that recognition. Compliance is a brand, being regulated is a brand, but it's more than that. It's not just harvesting registrations, but actually committing to the region, having a product that is regulated. And here in Dubai, immediately after we filed our initial paperwork, a collaboration started. And that collaboration with VARA and us continued throughout the crypto winter. It continued throughout the volatility in crypto, and it led to this moment. So, as I mentioned in my comments earlier, while it was a long process of over 2 years, frankly, VARA's communication with us and our consultation with them helped us. It helped us more precisely identify some of the pieces we had to address from a compliance perspective and tailor our compliance program, our regulatory framework approach to crypto, and not just deploy a traditional TradeFi model.
That's great because you can see the regulators' comfort level with what they've achieved with you. In one respect, the broad array of tokens that are available to retail customers, which, as you know, in different jurisdictions, they're going token by token. But here, retail actually has a broader array to start with, which will attract them to the regulated exchange and maybe away from where they might have been doing business.
That's exactly right. And part of our strategy is to have a very robust token review and token listing process. And we recognized very early on that is a point of discomfort for most regulators, just because of the utility nature of tokens, the variety of tokens. And so we have really emphasized, and we built out a framework that we believe is the most robust in the industry in the tokens that we list on our exchanges.
Now, what's next for derivatives? That right now they're institutional and certain customers only. Do you look for a broader derivative availability across your client base?
Absolutely. We have a very strong derivatives product, as you know. And so our strategy now is to be patient. We believe, frankly, that it is appropriate that at this stage in our journey here in Dubai, with our license, that derivatives are only offered to institutional and qualified investors. We do not disagree with that. We understand that is part of the evolution. And so I think going forward on the retail side, we need to continue to show success in consumer protection and consumer education, and that will lead to a better consideration of derivatives in the regulatory space. So it's a journey, we understand it, and we need to continue to communicate and collaborate with here in Dubai with VARA and our other regulators globally to move forward in that process.
Fantastic.
From a regulatory perspective, what's the next jurisdiction you have your eyes on?
What I can share with you is that we are very committed to the CeFi regulated space, and our license here in Dubai is, we believe, a flagship license, and we are seeking other flagship licenses as well. As I'm sure you're familiar, we recently received our full operational license in Singapore with MAS, another flagship regulator. And so all the work that we've done, we've scaled our legal and compliance team from less than approximately 50 people to nearly 500 to ensure that we are nimble and prepared to deal with various regulatory requirements throughout the world. So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have some more success stories on the licensing for our CeFi product.
Now, we got to wrap up, but I imagine that there was a catalyst sometime between 2022 and now that really helped the regulators kind of open up their eyes to the crypto industry. I don't want to talk about that because we don't have time, but what's the next regulatory catalyst you're looking forward to that you think might help regulators across different jurisdictions maybe look at crypto differently? Yeah,
so we're very committed at OKX now to move forward with material regulatory engagement globally on Web3. Right, and so we believe that it has incredible value add to consumers throughout the world, and we think it's important to get in early with the regulators and open up a dialogue, talk to them about what the technology is, what it is not, what its limitations are, what its offerings is, and also work with them on building the appropriate regulatory and compliance framework around it. So we're committed to that, as I said, and we really want it to frankly proceed forward similar to our license experience here in a collaborative method that is not hostile, that is based on trust, and really trying to figure it out with your regulators. That's the best strategy when you have a new product in TradeFi, but especially when you have a new product that's based on a new technology. That's very important.
Mauricio, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me again. I appreciate it.
And congratulations on the launch.
Thank you very much. Thanks.